Right. And they know the face, so if anybody comes asking for him, they know who it is. Right. Right. Well, find one, find them both. I mean, two in one shot. Right, yeah. Mm-hmm. Baby Yoda, right. Yeah. How many times have we seen TV shows and the hero, the main character is about to die and then someone gets saved, but yet we still like that character although he got saved. Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Mm. That's another thing in my notes. It's like give it. I have it written down. Give it to them straight. You know, there's how many ways can you come across? Yeah, what bedside manner do you have? You know, it's like, well, there's only one way to say it. You know, you don't like the way I said it. Go ahead and say it the way you wanted me to say it. It's, either way, you know, you're gonna die. It's there's no other ways about it. So we're gonna have to try to help you. Right. Ditch. Yeah. It's like a boat almost. Right. I have some bushes that need to be done in front of the house. So if they're available, they can do it within inside a half hour, 15 minutes. Be greatly appreciated. I can save off on the labor, please. I never noticed it. Um, I was more when it came to the ATST. I was more concerned of how it got there. Early on, we listened to Gina Carano, and her story is the fact that she remained on Endor after the Battle of Endor. Um, and the ATST was part of Endor. I can see that, but where does this ATST come from? We know these raiders aren't Imperial soldiers. So the question is, where did this ATST come from? Right, exactly. Right. And I think these Raiders too. I don't think they're, and I may be wrong, but to me they weren't the upscale Raiders. They were kind of like maybe one step above a sand person, or the sand people, the Tusken Raiders. Right. I think they were like one step above them at best, and they learned how to drive an ATST. You know, it is. Yeah. Yeah. So explain how it got there. That's the question. They just let it go. But I mean, all the same, I think that was both the Battle of Endor and the ATST are great callbacks to previous Star Wars. So Chekhov's Walker. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it gives its own. Maybe he had the windows open. It kind of got a little stuffy in there. So seeing that, I could see that as definitely a cool thing. I mean, you mentioned that as a dinosaur. Dinosaurs were the most feared, so that would be the most feared, the most you know difficult to combat when you're just a two-legged human throwing spears, throwing rocks. You know what I mean? That is true. That is true. But they gave him armor plated legs. That's what they gave. Worked on it. That. The electrician has spoken. This is the way. Oh god. Oh boy. Oh. So making the stand. I mean, yeah, and I'll get into this on my final thoughts. It kind of reminds me of another episode. But making the stand, I thought that was a pretty cool fight scene for humans versus the mech. And then the battle of the human, the battle of the on the ground. I thought it was very well done. I thought it was clever how they built the moat to try to get the ATST to stop to fall in, but at the last minute they stop right before it. Yeah, and that's got to remind somebody of like a true battlefield. Where you're sitting there and you wait, and sometimes you got to bait them. Yeah. That is true. I mean, really, honestly, in a video game, when you're shooting and you're in a plane or a helicopter and you're shooting in front of the person, so it would go off. You're not shooting behind it. No, you're shooting the front in front, so the people would either eat the bullet or at least get clouded by it, and you have what do you call it, camouflage or a blindside to walk on in. But yeah, that really put a little bit of character into the enemy. Not to go full force and be like, oh, we're gonna keep going, we're gonna keep going till the last man standing, till the last man standing. And no, they finally find out that they're overmatched, so they retreat. Right. I really was hoping, a little bit of part of me really wanted Baby Yoda to stay because he was in an element and I knew that he would be well taken care of. And, this battle, again, like you said, time has passed. This battle really gave a resurgence, some new sense of hope, pardon the pun, but a new sense of hope to these settlers that they themselves can fend for themselves, that they don't have to run and be cowards. And I really thought that that was a great end to some. That's great for Mando, the cowboy, the white hat, to come in and give this sense of confidence to these people. Say, yes, you can defend your land. You don't have to run anymore. There is no reason to run. You too can defend. All you needed was schooling or teaching and practice to do so. Now, granted, again, they didn't have much practice for the first battle, but now they know for later on. And we may never see them again. Who knows? But I would like to think that this settlement now has the confidence of a Mandalorian to take on the pillagers, to take on the raiders. So, really, okay, I can see it. I just, I just really thought, no, right, right, right. It still makes me wonder why he's valuable. They still haven't led up to anything, and I I could see that too. But it's also that irking that you wanted to, and who knows if they would have ever revisited. But again, the season's laid out. We don't know what's going on. So again, it'd be interesting, and I just would have loved to see, him in his own element, I guess you could say, because really, this episode wasn't about Baby Yoda, as